Votes are nice. You can tell your grandchildren about them, and they'll always be in the record books. But what they're after are delegates. And here's how they stand as of today, as of today's primaries we now have in hand. Senator Hart, 145. Mondale, 122. Askew, 45. Now, the delegate board for McGovern, 21. Jackson, 16. And Glenn, 13. The delegates so far, counting primaries prior to today, will be here in a second. Delegates so far, counting the primaries that have already been held, including those today, and here we are. 289 for Mondale, 252 for various others, and 186 for Senator Hart.
Senator Hart, thank you very much for being patient with us. While we go through the big picture, it is clearly one that you are not altogether displeased with. Have you stopped Walter Mondale for making a comeback, or has he made one?
Well, I'm not sure what the comeback talk is. He was the front runner in this race for a year and a half.
Up to New Hampshire.
Well, probably thereafter. It was only a week or 10 days ago that people were saying, how can you possibly get any votes in the South? You have no organization there, you have no money, you haven't campaigned there. I think we've disproved that this was some sort of a regional aberration campaign. This message of new leadership and a concrete set of specific proposals for this country's future, I think has gone over in the South and will go over in the West as well.
Well, Senator, if you're running for president of New England, you'd be in great shape.
Well, also Florida,
Yes.
Oklahoma, Wyoming, and maybe even the state of Washington.
One very interesting point about Florida, those Askew delegates, David, that you were talking about, in fact, I suspect, Senator, are going to go to you before the evening's out, right?
Well, the slates that we put forward and the advertising we did down there was vote for Hart in the preference poll and for the Askew delegates, because the vast majority of those, 90% or more, are committed to my candidacy.
Tell me, first of all, what's the thing that pleases you most about tonight? Having got out of the New England syndrome?
Well, no, we won. What pleases me the most is we collected more votes than any other candidate. I was the only candidate in the race running a national primary today. We also won more delegates than anyone else. Vice President Mondale's delegates include many from the House of Representatives who are theoretically at least uncommitted. So I think we did very well. This is we showed up in 3 major regions of the country, 2 northern industrial states, a major southern state, and some western states.
How did you like it when this AFL-CIO began talking about where's the beef? A nice big fat hamburger roll, but no beef.
Well,
what do you say to?
I showed the beef last night in Mobile, Alabama. Actually, I had 2 buns and a copy of my book. The book is 176 pages long, and it's got a lot of beef in it. And what I said was that I think a lot of people don't like that beef or can't digest it because it's not grown on special interest cattle.
Senator, a lot of our exit polls show that you have the least amount of strength tonight among people who are looking for experience and who are looking for stability in a crisis. Now, that's a very important vote come November. What can you do to overcome that?
Well, we have however many months there are, 8 or 10. For this campaign to settle down and get into some very serious discussions about the depth and breadth of our commitment and our policies on arms control, on approach to foreign policy, not just East and West, but North and South, international economics, economic redevelopment here at home.
Can I interrupt for a second? Isn't
Sure.
this campaign going too fast for that now? I grant you this campaign was meant to keep people like you out of this sort of race.
That's right. Well, it's been going too fast up to tonight, and now it begins to slow down, and I am happy about that, frankly. This business about running on media and momentum is just nonsense. I was against the so-called front-loading from the beginning, and I am very happy now that we're going to get into a period where we have 1 primary a week, and hopefully we can debate some issues.
But it means you and Mr. Mondale are going to be fighting each other all spring and maybe half the summer instead of the president.
Well, I'm not fighting Mr. Mondale. I'm fighting for the future of this country and contesting with Ronald Reagan. I'm not...
You tell him, come on. You mentioned media. I'm surprised to hear you say that you're not interested in the media thing.
No, I didn't say that.
In Florida, it was very clear you ran a media campaign.
I didn't say that. I said that what I'm trying to dispel is the myth that this is a campaign based only on momentum and media. It's a campaign based on ideas.
A lot of questions have been raised in the last few days about yourself and the way you've defined your character, your age, your name, your naval career, etc. You've got to overcome that clearly now. How do you begin doing that?
Well, first of all, that concern, to the degree it exists at all, seems to exist almost exclusively in Washington. I don't hear a lot of American people talking about those issues. I think character, personality, background is all legitimate. People want to know who is who is attempting to lead their country and perhaps the free world. I welcome it. I have nothing to hide. There's nothing in my background I'm ashamed of.
No October surprise.
No.
Politicians always worry about that in all parties, in all campaigns.
Not me.
Okay.
And journalists always worry about projections and predictions. Michigan on Saturday, the Illinois primary on Tuesday. How are you going to do, briefly?
Well, there are 5 caucus states, 4 or 5 caucus states on Saturday. Michigan is only one. Arkansas and some others, South Carolina, Mississippi, and other states. We'll do well. We'll get our share of the delegates. I think Illinois is the next watershed state.
Senator, thanks very much.
My pleasure. Thank you.